Voices Radio.
Voices Radio. Voices as a radio.
Voices
Voices Radio.
Radio.
Yo, what's happening, boys and girls? Welcome to Breakfast with Sadiq Bello, available on Voices Radio on the first Thursday of every month between 9 and 11 a.m., where I will not only be playing some absolute bangers, no mash, but to wake you up from your morning slumber. But I will also be talking with various guests about how they have decided to spend their time trotting through this ironic journey that we call life. So let me start by introducing myself. Of course, I am the one, the only Sadiq Bello. Well, actually, that's a bit of a lie. If you look back through the history of the African diaspora up until now, I'm sure there has been many Sadiq Bellos before me and probably many to come after me. But I would like to think that none of them quite did it the way that I intend to live it. So, in a nutshell, I am a DJ and music producer, born in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria, but raised predominantly in West London. Starting out as a house DJ, I later expanded into open format, blending a myriad of genres and learning how to scratch and use effects. This would later help me develop my own style. But for now, as I have said, tune in as I wake you up from your morning slumber and get you out of bed and prepared for another beautiful day ahead. Now, for those of you who are listening or streaming back from Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any other medium, then feel free to like, subscribe, and follow me for more info at Sadiq Bello. That's at SADIQB3LLO. The 3 is there just because I wanted to be a bit quirky. Once again, that's SADIQB3LLO. Okay, so let's get into it. So welcome, first of all, to Breakfast with Sadiq Bello. It's good. I'm happy to have you on, as per usual.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's all right.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Did you want to introduce yourself just so the people know who they're listening to?
Yeah, so my name is Jules. I'm an artist, I'm a singer and a rapper. I come from West London. And yeah, I make music.
Okay, that's good to know. For those of you who are listening, I'm Sadiq Bello. If you don't know me already, I'm kind of offended, to be honest, because you should be here already. But now, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of had an agenda in my mind where I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask Jules about, who he is, what music you make, where you came from, all of that stuff. But before I get into that, the first question I want to ask is actually, how are you doing? Just like as a person, because I don't think we get the time to ask each other that like on a day-to-day basis. So is there anything on your mind that you would specifically want to talk about or that you need to get off your chest? Like, how is your mood?
My mood, I'm generally good, I feel like I'm obviously from London, innit? So like everything's quite a fast-paced thing. The industry's quite fast-paced as well. So my main thing is just like staying on top of things, just making sure I'm being myself, making sure I'm getting time for myself, making sure I'm giving time to my peoples as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like leveling myself always and like consistently moving. That's my thing, innit? I'm steady on the goal. That's it.
Right. Okay, and I want to go back to the thing that you just said about giving time to your peoples, because that's something that I struggle with, and I feel like a lot of creatives actually struggle in that in general. So before we get into it and talk about like you as a person, we'll get into all of that, what you got, what projects are coming, how long you've been doing that, and so forth.
Yeah.
But would you say, when you talk about giving time to your peoples, is that something that you constantly struggle with as like as an artist, do you find a lot of family members or a lot of friends and a lot of people around you always like maybe they have birthdays or like someone's had a kid or something like that, and you just can't seem to balance the two because in your mind your creative passion is the most important thing to you, and they can't understand why something like a birthday or like having a child is as important as that to them? Is that something that you struggle
what
with?
I can say is that I feel like I've been blessed to have the people I have around me, family wise, friends wise. I have a good solid tribe in it, and they all understand that I'm on this mission, and they will also understand that it's bigger than just me. I always say this as well, like it's bigger than just me. It's not just like get to where I want to get to. It's not just gonna be me there. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be all of them. Like so, I have been blessed to like be around people that understand that and understand me and my journey. I'm not gonna say that's not difficult at times because like the more you do, the more busy you get, and the more busy you get, the less time you have for some of your people, isn't it? And I kind of have this. I do have this kind of mental thing sometimes where it's like, even though I know this is a bigger mission, and I always tell myself it's like a bigger picture anyway, but I feel like sometimes being an artist is like not selfish, but it has that kind of energy in the sense where, especially at the beginning stages anyway, you definitely need your peoples and your family to be there, innit? Because for them to be there, it also attracts other people to be there, and so until it gets to a stage where, not to say you don't need them there, but you don't need them in the crowd anymore. They can be on stage, or they can be backstage with you, type thing. Yeah,
like you need that support when you're first starting out.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I have been blessed to have the tribe I have around me. I definitely found my tribe, and they get it, you know what I mean? And I do try to give as much time as possible, you know what I mean? Like,
do you think that they struggle with so you see, a minute ago when I was comparing it to like having a baby or being a birthday or something, like even though it's not a tangible thing, it's something that they can see. If let's say now I said to you, oh look, I've had a baby, come and see my baby. It's something you can see, right? Whereas as an artist, what you're basically asking these people around you to do, and this is something I thought about even for myself a couple of days ago, where it's like you're asking people okay, so first of all, actually, before I ask you that question, where is there? Like when you say like the bigger question. Where's the end? Where is the end goal? Like when do you feel you could be like, okay, now you guys, I'm good, and this is what I've been fighting for like my whole life. Like what is it that you're actually trying to achieve or fight for?
If I can say one word, I would say freedom.
Okay, so do you understand that the difficulties that they may face as your friends or like your family members or your support network, that they're helping you fight a battle for a victory that none of you can see yet, and not even sure whether or not it will come to fruition. Like the freedom that we're all fighting for, I feel, as creatives, where we're like, look, we just want to be free and we just want to live our life and do our thing and be able to like speak through our art. We're almost asking everyone to join this journey with us, with something that only we can see in our minds, and we don't even know whether it's going to get there. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Now sorry, carry on.
No, I was waiting for you still.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so like with that, I've only now just starting to realize how much of it's quite a big ask to ask someone to do that for you, in comparison to them saying something like, oh yeah, come and see my baby, or like come to my birthday, or come to my drinks, or come to my celebration of this thing. Because what it will look like to a lot of people who aren't creatives, and my dad was saying this to me before, he said, you've got to think of yourself as you have the mind of an artist, and maybe a lot of people around you who are not creatives have the mind of a scientist or the mind of a mathematician.
Yeah. It's more logical and this, that,
Yeah, and the same way you can't understand why they can't see what you're fighting for. They can't understand what you're asking to fight for. And so it's quite a big ask that we do as creatives, to ask these people who don't understand us to be like, look, just come on this journey with me. It's like me, look, come into this car with me. And you keep saying, where are we going? And I say,
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you just got to jump in. You just got to jump in. And every now and again they're saying, oh look, but I need to pee, I need to get out, I need to go to the petrol station, I need to this, I need to that, and you're like, no, look, we just got to get there. But you don't know if you have a petrol in the car to get you to where you need to. So does that turn into like a pressure for you sometimes to make sure that there's always enough petrol in the car, or that you do actually make it there, like you have to win that Grammy, or you have to do that album, or you have to do this because you've been riding for, these people have been riding for you for so long? Do you ever feel that pressure of like, if you don't make it, like, God willing you do, right? But if you don't make it, have you ever thought about how you would handle that? Like how would you cope with that? What would you like say sorry? I don't know, like what would you do?
Me as a person, obviously, like end of the day I'm human, innit? So I may have those thoughts sometimes. Everyone has insecurities, everyone has like anxieties, all of these things, innit? But you can say I'm an artist, innit? So my head, where I'm at is that I don't think about if not, you know what I mean?
Wicked.
I'm thinking about the way I think anyway. The way I always process things is, if not that way, it's that way. If not that way, it's that way. There's always a plan. There's always ways to do things, innit? In my mind anyway. And like resilience, steady, and just keeping that steady motion, innit? Like obviously you take L's, that's life. And you just
And that's the thing, I think that as creatives we understand more than in fact we're actually quite similar on some aspects to scientists or mathematicians in that way, because we're all looking for a solution. And so as creatives, what you're actually saying is, if it's not this way, like there is no other way. There is no plan B. There is no oh look, if this don't happen, then I'm gonna go and be a carpenter or plumber or doctor or whatever it is. It's like, nah, look, it's this or die. There is no other between.
Literally,
and so sometimes that can turn into like pressure. So for those who are listening that aren't creatives and are like locked into this conversation, whether you're listening to Spotify or on Amazon or Voices or however you're locked into on the breakfast show, that's what we face. I'm just letting you guys know. So on behalf of me and is it Jules that you prefer to call?
Jules.
Jules, all right, cool. And between me and Jules, just letting you guys know, we don't do it on purpose. Like, it's just, this is really do or die for us and any other creative that's listening out there. I'm sure you'll understand and feel the same. So that being said, we're going to take a break now. We're going to play a little bit of music. And then we'll come back, and then I'll get into who you are as a person. Now that we've established why you do I like to think we established why you do what you do. Is there anything else you want to add before we start playing some tunes?
If you're a creative and you're doing your thing, one thing I can say, obviously, like I'm only so far, I'm not like anywhere near where I want to be or where I'm gonna be. Not to say I'm not grateful of where I am and the journey I've been on. But gotta believe in yourself. That's one thing, and you gotta believe it. You have to believe it for them to believe it, innit? So they can call you delusional, they can call you weirdo, they can call you this, that, and the third, innit? But if you believe it,
you can achieve it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Standard self-belief. Oh, good. All right, cool. Let me play some music, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
cool. Okay. Right, we are back. Hi Jules, you still here? You with us?
Yeah, I'm here, my boy.
Okay, nice. Good to know. Right, so we spent the first of all, by the way, thanks for doing this, because I don't know if I told you the story, but you're like my first guest to have on this show. Like,
the word, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's the second show of like the first season, or however many shows or seasons that I do, or voices allow me to do. But the first show was just me basically talking, and like basically what I'm doing for you, I was doing that for myself. So I was just telling my listeners like what I'm about, what I like to listen to, what music I play, etc. And so you're the first person I've actually had on to have a conversation with somebody else to be able to talk about, because I like to, part of the reason why I think even myself as a creative, it's funny that we were talking about that end goal that we're thinking of reaching a freedom, where, because for me part of that is I like to think of it as like on a philanthropy kind of scale, where I don't always want to tell my story. I always want to tell other people's story, because I feel like that makes me understand myself, in the hopes that it will also make a lot of other people who may be feeling lost understand themselves, to see what other people are going through. So that's why I decided to have guests on. And then just the way the universe works, you just happen to be in my vicinity, and I liked the stuff that I saw on your Instagram, and like pictures and videos and projects you were working on, and I was like, oh, this would be a good person to actually talk to. So thanks for giving me the time.
No, thanks for giving me the time. Like, I appreciate this. Appreciate for seeing the vision.
Yeah,
man, I appreciate it.
That's all right. You're welcome. Anytime. So now let's get into the down and dirty of
nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty of Jules, right? As a person. So tell us, first of all, where are you from? Originally, like ethnically.
So my mom's from Barbados and my dad's from Jamaica, but I grew up in West London.
Okay, nice. And were you born in West London?
Yeah. I was born in Hammersmith, so like literally.
Oh, sin. Yeah. I lived in Hammersmith for a bit. I was like near there's like a church near like Brook Green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I lived there for a couple of years. That's literally the only experience I have with Hammersmith. And for a bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? This is like years ago, obviously. But like I remember when I first moved there, I was a bit terrified, because I'd heard things about like, I don't know, like gang activity and stuff in Hammersmith. I was like, whoa, am I gonna get like robbed or like, you know what I mean? Or whatnot. But it was pretty alright. I quite liked it. How was it for you growing up in Hammersmith?
I didn't grow up in Hammersmith. I grew up like near Leather Grove, Queen's Park area, Harrow Road, and that. Basically Notting Hill, in it. That's where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, growing up for me, obviously in my area anyway. Like if you think about like the artists I was out at the time, it was like Fredo, and it was mainly like either real rap, or it was drill in it. And me as a person, I was singing, I was chatting about love and all these other things. So I definitely had to like find my way and find my footing. I have an older brother, so I've always had like that kind of like self-belief and like headstrong kind of mentality, in a sense where like you hold your head high regardless.
Nice.
So yeah, growing up for me, it was cool. Me and my friends, we just done us. Obviously, there was like adversity throughout the journey, and like obviously some people didn't believe in it. A lot of people didn't believe it, to be fair. It got to a stage where I just got my own. I ended up having big up my sister actually for getting me like a home studio set up when I was like 15, and then from there I kind of just started doing my own thing, like being more self-efficient instead of like relying on people.
Yeah. Nice.
Then I ended up like engineering for like the whole majority of my area, and eventually.
What, like a sound engineer?
Yeah. I had a whole setup in it, so like obviously me and my friends will be doing our thing, and then eventually I'm like, I need some money, so it's like bring it all the man through whatever they do their thing, and then
So there's layers to you. You're not just like, oh, this guy's an artist, he sings. Like you can, if stuff breaks down, you know how to fix it.
Yeah, I can find my way. My dad's a DJ as well, so I can find my way.
Oh yeah, cool. So you were born into this. Is it fair to say you were born into this? Like this was kind of going to be, you were always one way or the other going to be involved in music or some creative art form, I guess?
I say creative to an extent, because like obviously when you're younger, you want to be loads of different things in it. Like I wanted to be, until I fully decided I wanted to do music like properly in, I think it was a summer holiday from like year 9 to year 10, or it was just year 10. So how old was I, like 15 or something like that? 14, 15. Yeah. That's when I kind of like made that decision, like, yo, yeah.
This is the way. This is what's gonna feed me.
Yeah.
All right. And before that, what did you want to be, or what would you have wanted if like music wasn't a thing? I know it's hard to imagine, but if music wasn't a thing, what did you want to do, or what would you have wanted to be?
Firstly, when I went college, I actually applied to do music and drama in it. In like secondary school, I did like my school plays and all of them things. I performed in the Bush Fair at one point. So it would have been acting, but imagine when I went college, applied for music, drama, and English in it. Cause I was decent at English. No, was it? No, it was media. Yeah. And then got there. Imagine the first day they put music and drama at the same time on like the schedules. So they'll basically like to me like, yo, you got
to choose one.
you got to choose one and then pick either like RE or science or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, what? Obviously I went with music, but yeah, I would have done acting. I'm not to say that I feel like as a musician, as an artist in general, you can kind of put yourself in as many lanes as possible when you establish yourself and just in general. So I therefore feel like that will come around eventually. But when I was 13 to maybe 14, 12 to 14, let's say, I wanted to be a professional wrestler, you know. Like
that's bad. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, but that's acting as well as performing at the end of the day. Obviously, it's very physical, but it is like a performance.
Yeah, it's like gladiator stuff. Yeah,
yeah. Literally, I was like some little 13-year-old chubby kid going to the other side of London to try to do some training and that, doing suplexes and things.
That's nuts. Do you know what? Yeah. So now that we're having this conversation, I'm actually starting to see. This is why I like talking to people and finding out this kind of stuff, like asking them apart from like what they like to do apart from their public profile, because we actually have a lot of similarities. So I'll tell you now. Yeah, I was born in Nigeria. And then I came to London, West London, when I was 8. And I actually grew up on Harrow Road. You know where the Papa John's is now, but it used to be a KFC. Yeah. So I grew up there. Yeah.
So you're from ends.
So imagine, square down, same ends. And then, what's it called? I wouldn't go as far as, like, I didn't go and, like, do suplexing and training and all that stuff. But I also used to watch WWF. And, like, me and my brother were in it. I was like, yeah, look, I want to be a wrestler. I want to be Bret Hart. And I want to be Shawn Michaels and all these, man. Right? And then, what's the word? And then, yeah, I fell into music just because, like, I was actually good at dancing. And then that led into, I wonder if I can, like, make this music that I'm dancing to or singing to and so forth. And then I also applied in college. I was actually doing art, music and drama. And so my first love was art as opposed to music. But yeah, as now you're talking, I'm starting to realize, okay, we have a lot of similarities. So when you were doing, like, you know, when you were practicing like your suplexing and all that, somewhere in the trajectory, you were like, no, look, fun this, I'm going to go towards music. Did you like hurt yourself or something? Like, what made you think the same for me?
I can tell you the defining factor, but obviously music's always been in my life regardless, innit? So even when I was doing that, I was still like doing some type of music. Like, always my older sister, she's a singer as well, innit? So when I was younger, she used to be singing. She still does. But yeah, so that's always been around me. And when I was in year 7, I picked up drums, and then I think I was in like the school band for a bit. And no, not the school band, but I had like my own like little,
like your own little,
my own little clique, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I find that you could play drums though. That's one of those things I wanted to play, but not.
That's like my favorite instrument, other than my voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the defining factor, that kind of like the defining moment, let's say, that was like, okay, this music's like life.
Yeah.
Was me and my brethren, Kush and my guy Sai, we went cinema to watch Straight Outta Compton. And I kid you not, yeah, at the end of literally at the end of the movie, or like midway through or whatever, I'm sitting in the middle, innit? My brethren are beside me. They're on either side of me. Midway through the movie, I turned to them and I'm like, hey, yo. I was like, yo, we're doing music now still. We're doing music. And they were like, I bet. And then, from there, we started moving. And then in like secondary school, I was in like a duo group with my brethren Kush.
Yeah.
And then from there, it was just like, we just kept making music.
I see. So like if someone was to do like a biopic of your life one day, that would be the defining moment where, you know, Jules is like running around trying to be like Steve Austin, The Rock and all that. Then he sat down and watched this movie.
I was more like a Randy Orton store.
Okay, like a Randy Orton, right? And then the light, just everything stops. The angels come singing, and it's like, this is it. I'm going to be a musician. And then that was the defining moment. And those two friends of yours that you went to movie, is it those two that you set up the band with? Like, was it the three of you?
So my guy Kush, he played keys.
Okay.
My guy Sai, he was more into like basketball, so he used to do like sports anyway. But he wasn't really into the music thing, to be fair.
Oh,
he plays bass actually now. Like during that time, not really. But then me and Kush, that's when we kind of was like, I bet.
Yeah. Have you ever tried your hand at DJing? Just because I'm thinking you said you play drums, which means you've got good like hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, in college they did like a little DJ section of it. I feel like I'm gonna get into it eventually. I might pull I might pull a Skepta at some point.
Yeah, and just be
Who
like,
knows?
I just want to play with some decks. Cool.
Yeah, but I got my own DJ though, so more time. I'm chilling. I got my guy Jar X.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll keep an eye out for that. Do you know what I mean? When you become a DJ, like you might become my competition still, and we'll be like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna back to back, just do all the scratches and that. You know what I mean? What's the word? Okay, cool. So that's where. So you were growing up, going to college, decided to get into music, RE science, whatnot, and then
it was more secondary school where I started.
Secondary school. So yeah. All right. So then you went through that, and then what was the journey? Was it kind of like you're gonna make an album, you're gonna make a single, or
so basically in like year 10, that's when I started releasing. I released my first song, some R&B thing. I deleted it, you know. I don't know when I deleted it, but I can't find that song, bro. And that song was decent, innit? Like it was decent. Then after that, me and my brethren, we had like a group called LOS. We started dropping loads of singles for our secondary, performed in prom and school shows and all of that. And then when we got to college, I think it was either first or second year of college, we done our mixtape, and yeah, there was like 9 songs on that. And from there, like obviously at the end of college, that's when COVID hit.
Oh right, okay.
Now people are getting little like glimpse of my age and that.
That's the whole point. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out,
because
they always say like, oh, it's rude to ask someone's age. So I'm like, alright, let me just figure out what time this was when you said like COVID and that. I'm like, okay.
I still ain't gonna say. You can do the math.
Yeah. Cool. So then
COVID hit, and then with me anyway, I'm like, I love music, innit? That's my whole life. That's how I express myself.
Yeah.
I express myself better through music than in conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm still like on go. I'm always making music, and then it got to a point where my brother, I felt like musically we wasn't really landing anymore. But that's still my brother nonetheless.
Yeah, of course, that happens. I have bare people that's happened with. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So eventually that's when I just started making my own things, and then pushing with the solo stuff.
Okay. I mean, you've done, to me anyway, looking at like stuff that I see on like your Instagram and like your socials and stuff, considering that it's something that it wouldn't be fair for me to say it's something that you just got into, but I'd say for something that you're doing, or as long as you've been doing it now, you've gotten quite far ahead. Because I know people who would like, you know, made that same decision 10-20 years ago, and they're out here like, you know, trying to, I don't know, sell mixtapes on Oxford Street or whatever, you know, whatever it be, and so forth. So I'd say like you've done well.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, which leads me to my next question before we actually play some music next. But what was I about to ask? Oh my god, it's probably just gone out my head. I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. So I've asked you a question this before off air when I said, do you think an artist or musician can make it in today's day and age without social media, right?
Yeah.
The distance that you've traveled from the moment that you watched Straight Outta Compton to where you are now, would you say that you would have got this far without social media, or do you think social media helped you sort of reach a wider audience?
Defo made me reach a wider audience, because like with social media, it's a online portfolio at the end of the day. It's you put yourself out there for people to see and for you to share, you know what I mean? So and even just if you're chatting politics in terms of like whichever scene you're trying to get into, whether it's the rap scene or it's the indie or whatever, like end of the day, you gotta show something to like you can't get taken to a certain extent seriously, you know what I mean? So especially nowadays, I feel like it's one of the things where you kind of need something there. So yeah,
and I guess you're almost always like, there's one of those things where I think with artists in general, we always sort of, we don't do it on purpose, but we judge each other as like, oh, you're only as best as your last project. So like, even if you came out with like 9 albums that were top 10, multi-platinum, gold selling, whatever, and then you drop a new mixtape and it's terrible, people are like, oh yeah, Jules fell off. Like, they don't actually think about, yeah, but you know, this might just be like a hitch in the road. You've done 9 other things. So I guess the good thing about having social media and having socials like that is that even if you drop something that was like terrible and nobody liked it, like fans of yours or people who are just being introduced to you can be like, well, let's see what he did before all of this, because maybe he is actually a good musician. So I guess social, or like, you know, same thing happens for photographer or painter. You'd be like, oh, I don't like this painting, but you have a portfolio of other stuff that I could get into. So I'm still very like, I have a very, very funny relationship with social media. Like, as you know, I'm always saying, it's like, I don't want to be famous, but I need people to see my work, or I need bookings. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I show my face? Do I not? Do I put this mix out there, or do I become all like mysterious like Banksy? Because sometimes I feel like being mysterious is the drawing. Like, you kind of want to know, oh yeah, like what does this person do when they're not, I don't know, like when they're not performing music, or when they're not on Voices Radio on the show or whatever. So that's something I've always struggled with.
I had a conversation about that recently as well. But I feel like social media can get you to a point where you can be mysterious, or like not be as present. You know what I mean? Like, you can, you doing that work now can put you in a position where you ain't got to do it later. Yeah.
You end up like Frank Ocean or something.
Yeah,
or like an Andre 3000.
Exactly. Or Andre 3000, exactly.
Yeah. Have you listened to his new album? Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, it's perfect for like studying. We're trying to get work done or like relaxing. Like,
yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I hear that. No, do you know what? So I like it because I like the sounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other reason why I like it is because some people will say, oh, we're only gonna like it because it's Andre 3000 and we know what it's like. But a part of me also feels like people would only say that because it's Andre 3000. So let's say it was like some random artist that made this music. Like, you could like it, but the only reason why some people might decide to not like it is because they might have been expecting like another Outkast album or something like that. And so it's like when Drake did his Nevermind. Yeah. And everyone was like, oh, some people like hip hop heads were like, oh, this is a terrible album. But the thing is, for people who like house, that's a fantastic album. It's a great album. But it's just that they were expecting hip hop, so maybe they were like, oh yeah, this is whatnot. But for me, for what I've heard of it so far, I'd say yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I like what I've heard. But it is, you're right, it's great for like studying and like cleaning the house and cooking. And
I feel like just like if you want to get like melodies and like freestyle and stuff like that, I feel like it's good for. That's the first thing I started doing when I listened to it.
Yeah. Bare people. That's gonna happen with bare producers, by the way. I bet you bare people are gonna sample the hell out of this album.
100%. I think there's this one producer and rapper from New York. His name's Cash Cobain. He just done something with the first song.
Yeah.
Hard still, I can't lie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Already, the album's been out less than a week. And like, you know, but yeah, I think people would actually do. That's the thing about having like a great artist or a great musician. They can sample it and make really good music from it. Whereas some people, you might find there's like another like what do you call, like another group or like another bunch of people that will probably butcher it, and they'll just put like a beat. They won't actually do anything creative with it, if that makes sense. They'll just get like a beat, put it over the sounds, and be like, yeah, cool, this is a remix. And it's like, well, no, it's not. You just put a beat over it. Like a DJ can do that. But yeah, let's I'm gonna do some mixing now because my hands are itching. Play some music, and then we'll come back in a couple of minutes. I'll play for like 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and get to any projects that you may be working on now or that are coming out in the future and so forth that we could look for.
Cool.
All right, cool. Back in this. Okay, yo. Back in. Still, for those of you who are just locking in, it's myself, Sadiq Bello, live on Voices Radio, or if you're listening on Amazon, Spotify, and Radiocast and Apple Music. This is a podcast called Breakfast with Sadiq Bello, and I normally play a whole bunch of music and talk with guests that I like to find out a little bit more about. If you're just locking in, the guest for today is Jules. Jules, you want to say hi or introduce yourself to anyone and say anything?
Yo, I go by the name of Jules. I'm a singer and rapper from West London.
Nice. Standard. That's all they need to know. Listen, I'm Jules. I'm a rapper from West London. Listen to my stuff.
You know what I mean?
So, in terms of listening to your stuff, where can they find? And first off, when can they find any of the music that you've already put out? Do you have it on like SoundCloud or anything like that?
Literally on everything. So Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, everything. Literally just search Jules. If you want to search for a specific thing, search Jules Motions or Jules Disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that Jules Jules?
Yeah.
Okay, Jules Jules and Emotions with a S or a Z?
S.
With an S. Okay, you didn't try to be like cool.
Nah.
Too cool with it. You know, sometimes people try to be too cool and then it comes out tacky. They're like, Emotions with a Z, and you're like, nah.
That was me in like primary school.
Yeah, right. So you've heard it here from the man himself. Search Jules Jules Motions on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, anywhere that you can stream, and you can find all of his stuff that is already released. So we'll now talk about future stuff that you might be working on releasing. Is there any projects we should look forward to?
Yeah, so depending on when this comes out, when this is broadcasted, I got my EP, Same Old J, dropping the 4th of December. This is actually going to be out. Yeah.
This should be out. This is for people who listen to this live. It's the 7th of December.
So yeah, my EP would have dropped. So it's called Same Old J. It's a 5-song project produced by my guy Jar X and P4. And yeah, it's just like another introduction to me.
Nice. And that's available on Spotify and all the other streaming platforms, I'm assuming.
Everything.
Cool. Do you have it on do you have a SoundCloud page as well?
Yeah. Literally just Jules as well.
Just Jules. Is there anything, by the way, that you release on SoundCloud that you don't put on other streaming platforms? Like I don't like
little throwaways. I got this song called I dropped last year. Well, yeah, this year. I think like around April times. It's called Left Right. It's like a little something.
Yeah.
Just on your SoundCloud. I think next year I'm gonna start doing like some little more on SoundCloud. I haven't really tapped into that too much, to be fair.
Okay, yeah, I find that like I enjoy listening to stuff on SoundCloud a lot because I feel it's like the cool, like even though it was out from like SoundCloud was actually about before Spotify and a lot of these other streaming platforms. But I think of SoundCloud as like the younger brother or like the sister company that where you can find really exclusive underground stuff that you won't find on main platforms that may have like copyright issues or anything like that. Especially even as a DJ, like all of any remixes or edits that I play, most of them always come from SoundCloud. It's like some kid in his bedroom that just put some two together on GarageBand and Logic Pro. Like, wow, this is dope, but he's not allowed or she's not allowed to put it on Spotify because they haven't cleared the samples or whatever. So that's why I do some stuff on SoundCloud. But yeah, if there's stuff that you have is sort of raw, uncut, unedited, I'm assuming they can find it on your
on my SoundCloud. Yeah. Especially next year, I'm gonna be dropping a whole lot of music.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna look out for that. That's right. I'm gonna follow that right now.
I appreciate it.
And that would be soundcloud.com/Life of Jules. Or
it's /Jules 1 of 1.
Jules 1 of 1. Like the numbers, the numeric
number. Yeah.
Okay, 1 of 1. Jules 1 of 1. Alright, I'm putting my laptop's in front of me now, so I'm just like, cool. I'm gonna follow that. And jump on that. Cool. So, the project that you're working on now, also the one that's releasing on the 4th of December. How did that come about? Was there someone you knew already?
No. So basically, I'm working towards like my big project that should be released next year, and I dropped my first EP last year, the 6th of December. It was called Motions. That was literally just like a 3-song EP. Introduction to me. I started working with this new producer. It's my brother, Jar X, and he produced like the song Believe It and then other songs since then. And yeah, this project is basically just like another introduction to me. I feel like it's me just doing a stamp on who I am as an artist and what I'm trying to represent and what I'm speaking about. Just the type of energy. I feel like the type of music I want to make and what I am making is for people to not only just escape, but also to process stuff and like to just realize stuff. I'm gonna speak I speak from like an emotional standpoint where I just speak how I feel. That's how I process things in it. So so the first song is called Stick to the Plan. As we spoke about earlier, about this being on the go and just like learning who you are and like just keeping with that momentum, that's kind of just speaking on that in a sense. The next song is called Like That. That's more like an introspective song, and like it's basically just chatting about how like sometimes I might just want to go away. I might just want to take a trip. You may not hear from me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Kind of that little introspective moment with self.
Might just get out of the car that you're pushing everyone along with, saying that.
Yeah. So if you're taking like a drive, hear that song and then just vibe. Or if you're smoking one, you know what I'm saying? Right. With it. So the next song was actually the lead single from my project. It's called Disrespect. It's with my brother Shivy, produced by my brother P4. And yeah, we had a music video drop literally a couple of weeks ago now. For that one. So you can check that on YouTube. So that one is basically like the main line in it is love in my heart, but I ain't gonna take disrespect. And it's just talking about how like you can be. When I'm talking about love, I may be talking about it from a friendship standpoint. I may be trying from a intimate standpoint. Even like a family one, you know what I mean? Like, you could have love for someone, but if they're not good for you, they don't respect you or like what you're doing and what you represent, then it is what it is. Like, I ain't gonna take it and keep it moving, keep it pushing.
Yeah, got to bounce from that because that would like dim your flame because they'll start to make you question this journey that you're on if they don't support you. And
just in general, like if you have like standards in terms of like how you want to be treated, like overall, if they don't respect it, then it's cool. Like you don't, but then I'm just not gonna be here. You know what I mean?
Standards, like yo, I can't jump for this. I got
you know what I mean? Like,
that's cool.
Myself, so
I feel like I saw that video on your Instagram. Or like clips of it on your Instagram. It's the one where you're in orange and
Shivy's in blue.
Okay, because as soon as you said the name and said P Shivy, I was like, I heard that name before, but I don't know why.
But he's been doing his thing as well, so you probably might have heard him from that stuff as well. But yeah, that video is crazy. So if you want to go check that out, you can check on my Instagram, but YouTube is where it's at. It's directed by my people, Amani Pavel, and shot by my guy Armsy. And
nice. I really like it. No, they did really good work. Like the color of it, not the color, like it's not the color scheme, but like the way, whatever effect they put on the lens or whatever, it reminds me a bit of have you seen Snowfall? Yeah, so how that's kind of shot, it kind of looks very like 1980s LA.
I hear you. That was all. That's literally even just the color scheme in general, and like the type of like lens and everything like that. Generally, that was all Amani. She creative directed that one. That was the second video.
Okay.
Wait, no. The thing, timing wise, I shot this before I shot my song September. But this was the first video that I let someone else direct me.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. Like when I watched it a few times because I was like, it's gonna sound so like corny to say, but I was actually mesmerized when I seen it. I was like, it worked so well. I appreciate that, man. Bro. It worked so well. I'm telling you, when I saw like cause I could see like the blue and the orange, and then because there's bits of it where you're like, I think it's like in the forest or something. There was like green. Yeah. So the whole color scheme, I was like, someone took time to make sure all of these color schemes were going to work well, and like it really paid off when I was seeing it. So like, for those of you who are locked in, check out Jules' Instagram or and you
YouTube,
or YouTube. Yeah, it's a really good video. I like that.
I love how it came about as well. Cause like I was with, obviously Amani is my brethren, innit? She's my G, and she was going to get a tattoo, so I came with her. She just showed me this. She just showed me a mood board for a video. And she was like, yo, do you have a song? And I was like, yo, you know I got a song. And then sent it to her, put her headphones on, played it, and he was like, yeah, this is what it is. I think we shot it like maybe like 2 weeks later or like 3 weeks later, but it was just like very fast paced. Just
Nice.
straight to it.
That's cool, and I like that's another thing as well. I like people that like serious like that. Like you say you're gonna do something, and then boom, you're on it. We get it done. Shoot, cut it, edit, put it out, and then on to the next thing. Because you know sometimes you could talk with people where you're like, oh yeah, look, we should like. So I always say right, if you don't get a yes from someone, everything else is a no. Like you know sometimes
Yeah, facts though.
like, oh, we should do something together. Be like, yeah, I'll hit you up, and then that's all you get. You don't like that hit you up never comes. Or like when you meet old friends from like school or college and you're like, yeah, we should catch up over a drink or catch up over a meal or whatever, but there's no date that's actually set or something. Okay, this isn't gonna happen, or you know. But yeah, sometimes I guess life kind of gets in the way like that, but you always,
that is one thing as well though.
Yeah, there's everyone's busy with cost of living and like you know what I mean? It's like,
this is real life.
It's like I still have to like pay my bills and go to the post office and do all this other stuff as well as being creative. And I think sometimes that's what people don't get about being a creative, is that like they look at it as like there used to be this old saying where people are like, oh, get a real job. But they don't understand that actually being a creative is actually more complicated than probably
it's a full-time job itself, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Especially if you ain't, as an artist anyway, especially if you're not like, let's say signed or like have a manager, there's like, if you think about it just from a logical standpoint, like say if you're an independent artist and it's just you, like solely you, all the jobs that you're taking on is someone else, literally like someone else has a wage to do that job, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
That self-promoter thing, someone has that thing where they like doing press releases and like the marketing side of things. When you drop a song and you want to have your lyrics there, that is tedious. I'm telling you, it's tedious. But it's what it is though, we keep moving. But yeah, it's a full-time job, innit? Like,
yeah, no, it's a lot. Like that's when I started taking it a little bit easier on myself with like even with promotion and just stuff like that. Because when I was looking at, because you get to the point, every creative gets through this, like, and I'm pretty sure you've probably had it too, where sometimes you sort of wake up or you just can't sleep in the middle of the night thinking, what am I actually doing, bro? Like, is this, like, am I wasting my time here? Or like, is this ever going to happen? And you have these moments where you start doubting yourself. And like, even Kanye West said it in his Touch the Sky tune, where he goes like, you know, damn, are these guys really better than me? Like, you know, you sit there and you think about it because you have to do all of these things. And I started to realize that the only difference between me and someone who might be like, you know, like a Drake or a Beyonce or a superstar or this, that, is that most of these people have a team behind them that are doing all of these things. They have someone that does the marketing and someone who dresses them and someone who, you know, puts lyrics on this and someone who makes sure that they contact the right lawyers to clear samples and blah, 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 and have a whole team. So then I started taking it easier on myself, being like, look, do you know what? Just the fact that I'm doing it all on my own will mean that it's going to take a little longer, but it will be worth it when you get there, because people don't often, that's why when we were talking at the beginning of this interview, we were saying we'll talk about self-belief and how it's important to remain persistent, because a lot of the times these other people that are in the car with you, where, you know, friends, family members and loved ones, and you're driving and you have no fuel, like, it's not their fault, but sometimes they can only start to believe in you when you show them that there's something worth believing in. So maybe
and like even if you have like creative friends, like, sometimes you have to take lead and like, you have to do stuff in it. Like I feel like the doing is like the main thing in it. Like especially like say if we go back to like, the conversation about like social media and stuff like that. I actually had a conversation about this recently with my friend, and it's one of them things where, like, for me anyway, where I'm at with socials is, overall, I don't really like social media. Like,
two of us.
It causes anxiety. It's that and the third. You get loads of like, even if like the message of social media pushes in general, but that's a whole different story. That's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, like, as an artist and you're posting your stuff, innit? Like, where I'm at right now is that even if I don't feel like posting today, if I have it in my schedule that I need to post today, then I'm gonna get it done. I might schedule it a couple days before, because you never know how my mood might be on that day. I might just have it like ready in my draft, so that all I gotta do is press post. And look, I very well might post it and dash my phone like to the other side of the room and be like, F socials, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, But my main thing is you still gotta do it though. No one's
just
gonna
gotta
do it for you. No one's gonna do it for you. Like, you have to write your own story. Even if it's written. Literally, it might be written, but you're writing it at the same time.
But you're writing it at the same time. Yeah, you're guiding.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's no one else for you, you know. But it makes you skilled also, because see, at the time that when something does need to get done, then you've picked up these skills. That's what people don't understand. It's like in the moments before like you blow, that's when you learn all of the skills that you need to learn in order to maintain your career when it does actually get to a point where you want to be. Because like now, when you were talking about even before getting into music, you were doing sound engineering, for instance. If I could tell you how many times I've turned up to like a gig and the DJ before me, or you know, the sound engineer, whatever it is, might not know exactly what is not making the sound come out right and so forth, and that has saved my life, because I've then been able to go, oh no, wait, put this wire here, and then have a gig. Whereas if I didn't know any of that, then that's it. That gig just has to be cancelled because nobody knows how to make the music come on. So, like,
I even got like myself my virgin helped me get it actually. I got like a vocal processor, and like my own mic and stuff like that. So like, whenever I'm going to these venues or whatever, I don't like relying on people in it, because like that gives, you know what I mean, like that leaves area
like
things not to get done.
yeah, I hear that.
You know what I mean? So like, I use nowadays, if I have a show and that, I always come with my own kit, so that all it is like plug in, and then so if their mic ain't working properly, or if my levels ain't right, then I can adjust it myself, so I don't like stream my voice or anything like that.
Yeah, that's nice, and that's the thing,
having that control.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really makes a difference, I guess, between people who are long-standing in this industry or not. Like, is like before, it was probably good, I don't know, like 40-50 years ago, it's probably good enough to just be able to sing, whereas now you have to be able to sing and dance and take photos and put the fashion together and then record it and put the content out and like, you know, schedule your time and so forth. And then by the time that you actually have,
and big up people like Michael Jackson though.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, can't take that.
Everything.
Michael Jackson was like the GOAT. He could do everything. Do you know what? There was a documentary I saw one time where he was describing like how he makes a beat, and there was times when like he would literally just like, he'll be beatboxing, and then from the beatbox he'll build the beat around that beatbox and center everything else, and then in his mind he'll know how he wants the video to be shot, and like it's a whole process. And I think that's why, like, even for myself, I never like to refer to myself as a DJ. I always refer to myself as an artist, because like I feel like if I put DJ, so let's say instead of Sadiq Bello, people just knew me as DJ Sadiq Bello, it gives them the impression that all I can do is DJ. When
you're in a box.
Yeah, when in actual fact, no, look, I could do all of these things. You know what I mean? If I wanted to, I could design shoes, I could build a toilet, I could like yeah, because you just know how to put stuff together. So that's all good. But yeah, we've got like just a couple more minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit more music, and then we'll come back and we'll do like a closing out of where people can find you, what you want them to know about you, what your message is, why you're here, and maybe where you hope to be or get to in the future.
Cool.
Excellent. All right, guys. Gonna play you some music. Okay. So we're back with the final segment. My name's Sadiq Bello. You're listening to Breakfast with Sadiq Bello on Voices Radio or Amazon or Spotify, Radiocast, and Amazon Music. And I'm here with Jules, who who is a rapper and a singer, or just
I'm a singer and a rapper.
Singer and a rapper.
I like that order.
Standard, right? He's a singer and a rapper from West London, but if you have been locked in all this time, you know he does more than that. He also he's a sound engineer. He does a whole bunch of stuff. So keep a lookout on stuff that he is doing on all of his socials and streaming platforms: SoundCloud, Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere else that you can stream. So, Jules, we're here. We're locked into like the last final minutes. Is there anything on your mind that you just want to get off your chest, like anything that's been on you in a couple of days, and you just thought, let me just vent it out now on radio? Or
I want to say the last two songs on my project.
Yeah, go on.
So obviously, I said the beginning ones was Stick to the Plan,
Mhm.
Like That, and then Disrespect.
Mhm.
So the fourth song is a song called Don't Change, produced by my guy P4. And this song is basically just about how, like, I feel like on my journey, I've generally stayed true to myself and like who I am, and like no matter like where I've come from or stuff around me. Like obviously, like growing up, there could have been loads of different situations. There has been loads of different situations that's like tried to sway me on my journey and push me away from the music or push me into other stuff. In it, like, you know what I mean? Like in a London living, everything, like a lot of things goes on around us. In it, so. In that song, I'm basically just saying like how my main thing is that I'm trying to like stay true to myself and like just be myself. And with that message, the last song is called One of One, produced by Jar X. This one's featuring my guy Beige on Age, and yeah, this one is basically just me owning that energy that I am one of one. I am myself. I believe in myself. I know who I am, and I'm gonna own that. And for what I would want people to take from this project in general is that you can be yourself, no matter where you're from or who you're around or like what's going on around you socially, just in general, innit? Like just stay true to yourself, learn yourself, and then from there be yourself, innit? And yeah, you're one of one just like me. I'm one of one. I own that. I know that. And yeah.
Nice. Important messages.
Yeah,
So guys, if you didn't hear that, rewind it back and listen again. There were some important gems that my man's dropped in there. Also, I'd like to add, I guess, for anyone who is thinking of jumping into the music industry, or making music or being a creative, I mean, my only message is self-belief. Like, always believe that you can do it and make stuff that you like. It's very easy to sort of get caught up in the momentum of, oh, let me make something that I think that's going to sell or be a number one hit record or blah 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 blah. But a lot of the times what I found is just through research that most of the artists that you speak to who have actually had really great, like, successful albums or successful singles, they either one say that they were just trying to make something that they liked, or two, they themselves didn't even think it was going to blow before it blew. And so just always stay true to yourself, and understand that everyone is going through the same thing that you're going through as well. So with that being said, let's see, what else? I'm trying to think of a question that I could ask you that would actually let me know more about Jules as not just as the artist but as a person. If you could, actually, this is a question I like to ask a lot of people because it tells me a lot about them. If you could meet one person, right, dead or alive, who would it be and what question would you ask them?
Oh, that's a hard one, you know. Put me on the spot, man.
I mean, this could change, and you might think about it over the next couple of days. But right now, in your head, of anyone that you think, it could be dead or alive, they could be human, they could be a spiritual being, it could be someone from the Bible, from the Quran, it could be anyone. Who would you want to meet, and what question would you ask them?
First name that came to mind, like the first name that literally put to my mind was Bob Marley.
Okay, that's a good answer, because I've said that before. I've answered to that as like Bob Marley. And what would you want to ask him?
In the face of like all that adversity you've had during your life, and then you'll come up, and just in general, coming from where you came from, how did you keep your faith and your passion for the art when everything was like stacked against you?
I see.
Because he did have a life. I will say. Yeah.
Quite a challenging life.
Yeah. So that's what I would say. That's the first thing that popped to my mind. Probably after this whole thing, I'm probably gonna think of like 10 other things.
10 other people.
Maybe even like a whole deeper one. I might even think of some crazy stuff. But this is the first thing that came to my mind. So let's roll with it.
Okay, so the reason why I asked you that is because I'm now going to turn that question into you. In the face of all the adversity and everything that you have, that any challenges you have gone through in life, how do you, Jules, as an artist and as a human being from West London, keep your head up, keep your head above water?
Man put the Uno reverse on, man. Crazy. One thing I would say is the love of the music. I love music. It's my whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that love and that passion for it kind of overrules everything, to be fair. But other than just that, I would say just a bigger picture.
Right.
And like who I do this for.
Yeah.
Where I've come from and what I'm trying to bring to the next and what I'm trying to achieve, yeah. But other than just me, like what I'm trying to like help what I'm trying to do for the next generation and like just for my peoples and like my tribe.
Nice. That's a good answer. That's a good way to end on the show. I appreciate that. Cool. And then aside from all of your shows, I never asked you, by the way, do you have like a main website? Is there like one site that people can go and it will
I
link
would say just literally
together?
my Instagram is Life of Jules, Life of JXLES. It's only JXLES on Instagram.
Right.
So yeah, Life of Jules on Instagram. That's where you can find everything I'm doing. I'm performing quite a bit, so try to catch one. My main aim by in like 2 years, and say I'm trying to be 3 years. I'm trying to be one of the leading performers in the UK. Performing is my thing. I love performing. That's what I've been doing since young. So I'm trying to push with that. So try to catch one of these live experiences. Come, let go, have fun, and just enjoy yourself. Catch the boy Ja X with me as well, DJing, and yeah, we're going to go through some stuff.
Excellent. Nice. All right, cool. So you heard it here first, guys. Signing out, Sadiq Bello and Jules, and I hope to hear more from you. I'm looking forward to stuff that I can hear from you in the future. And I wish you all the best.
Blessing.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me.